All right, welcome everyone. My name is Ariel, and I am a Bachelor's of Social Work student at Penn West University. And in this group, we're going to learn about coping skills for anxiety, skills that you can take out into the world and use practically in your everyday life. And so, in this session, since it's our first session, we are going to introduce ourselves. We will participate in an icebreaker exercise. I will explain and give an overview of the group and group expectations. And then we will also do a short exercise to begin learning our coping skills for anxiety. Does that sound good to everyone?
Yes, sounds fun.
All right. So, the purpose of this group is to learn coping skills for anxiety that you can use in your everyday life. And all of you were chosen for this group because you either have a diagnosis of anxiety or you struggle with anxiety symptoms. And so your provider may have referred you to this group. During these sessions, it is recommended that you share, but that it's not required that you share. And so, but sharing does help create trust. It builds trust, and it also may help another member in the group. Confidentiality is limited when you are in a group therapy environment. And so I do ask that everyone be as respectful and leave what is said in the group here in the group. Uh, I am required by law as a mandated reporter. If anybody mentions anything that refers to self-harm, harming someone else, child or elder abuse, I am required by law to report that. And if confidentiality is breached, if we kind of hear about a group member breaching confidentiality, you will be asked to leave the group. I also ask that you please be quiet and listen when others are talking, and don't be afraid to ask questions. This group will last for 8 sessions, and to successfully complete the group, you're going to need to attend 7 out of the 8 sessions, and they will be held every Wednesday at 7 p.m. For an hour. Does anyone have any questions about that?
No.
Okay, perfect. So I'm just going to introduce myself again. My name is Ariel. I am a BSW student at Penn West University. And I'll start with the icebreaker. We're going to do happies and crappies. So my happy is that I finally got my signs out into the yard at my workplace today. I've had these signs, I've been holding on to them for like 2 weeks. And so they're finally up and out. So I'm very happy about that. And then my crappy was that I went over caseloads all day, which is really boring. Yeah.
Um, my happy today was that I got to go get coffee with my friend today. We have a lot of fun. We listen to music, and that's very enjoyable. And my crappy was somehow I made my haircut a layered haircut. It's not supposed to be a haircut, but it happened anyways, so it's
Sorry.
okay.
Frustrating.
Yeah.
All right. My happy is that I found my white Reese chocolate eggs today. My crappy is that I ate the whole bag.
Oh my goodness. I do that too with Oreos. I love Oreos. If I have a pack, I need to eat the whole thing.
Mm. Yeah.
My chocolate's my favorite.
Oh man. So the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to do an exercise that is called name and attainment. And what this exercise is going to do is going to help us identify anxiety triggers. And then we're going to practice a grounding technique in real time. How does that sound?
Good.
Awesome. So, on a scale of 1 to 10, where is your anxiety right now? And just use one word to describe how you feel. For me, my anxiety is at about a 4, and how I feel today, I feel pretty balanced today.
Good. I'd say mine's like a 2. I think I feel pretty content. I think that's good.
Mine is at a 6 and I feel pretty aware.
Good. Perfect. So, we're going to name one recent situation that triggered our anxiety, and then we'll name one thought that we had in that moment. So for me, a recent situation that triggered my anxiety is that I had an employee quit and they had a very large caseload with a very important referral source of mine. And so my first thought was I kind of wanted to quit too.
That's fair, honestly. Um, my anxiety like situations are like when I'm in class and like lab and stuff, and like there's just situations where you just get very overwhelmed and you're not sure what to do because there's so much going on. Like you gotta clean brushes, you gotta put them in the sanitizer, you gotta rinse them, you gotta put them under the towels. Like there's just a lot of things that goes into cosmetology that makes it very easy to get overwhelmed. And like when you're asking the teacher a question, it's just not very helpful. It's
Yeah,
just really sucky.
that can be frustrating.
Absolutely. Um, so one thing that gave us anxiety today, and then how we thought, what we thought, right?
Yes.
Okay, so I had a lady come through my line today at work, and her debit card wasn't working, so she became very frustrated with me, and it made me want to run away.
Yes. Yes. And anxiety does that, right? And sometimes certain situations can add a certain amount of pressure. And so it could be pressure to perform and do things right and not have to ask questions because maybe you don't want to have to deal with the reaction from someone else. Or it could be the pressure to perform in a situation where maybe you don't even have any control over, what's happening. And so that those situations can create pressure for us and they can make us feel anxiety. And the next piece of this exercise is going to help us learn how to kind of reduce that even in the moment. So the next step of the exercise is tame it. And what we're going to do is we're going to name 5 things we can see, 4 things we can feel, 3 things we can hear, 2 things we can smell, and 1 thing that we can taste. So I'll start. One thing that I can see is my flower picture. I can see the green plant over on the desk. I can see the printer paper. I can see the keys, and I can also see a picture of me and my mom on my desk. I can feel my skin on my nails, and I'm generally always touching those 2 things. I can feel the top of my desk, and I can also feel my mouse pad. Uh, 3 things I can hear. I can hear the humidifier running. I hear my dog whining, and I can hear the heater running. 2 things I can smell. I can smell my perfume, and I can also smell my vape. It has like a fruity smell. And then one thing that I can taste my water.
Um, so I guess I'll go next. 5 things I can see is I can see my internet box, I can see my cup, um, I can see my stapler, I can see my dog. How many was that? 4?
4.
And then I can see my cell phone. 4 things I can feel is the ring on my finger, the rough skin on my hands, my pants, and my shirt. 3 things I can hear is I can hear the news in the background. Um, I can hear the neighbor's dog barking, and I can hear my daughter playing SpongeBob. Um, 2 things I can smell is my candle warmer and my perfume that I wore today. And 1 thing I can taste, still Nutella.
Mm, perfect. So I love that exercise because it slows us down. And another thing that you can do when you're doing the tame it exercise in the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 technique, you could also do deep breathing while you're finding your things. I find that that does 2 things. It slows me down even more, but then the deep breathing also gives me time to think about the things that I can see and feel and hear and smell. So, uh, let's everyone go around and talk about where your anxiety is at now. I feel like I'm down to a solid 2 now. And what I noticed during the exercise is that the naming of the things shifts my focus from my anxiety to finding the things that I'm looking for the grounding technique.
I think my anxiety is still a little too. Um, I think it's interesting to see like the way our body reacts when we change the subject in our minds.
Oh my gosh, Jocelyn, did we skip you?
Yes.
Oh my gosh. We skipped Jocelyn, so let's pause for a
It's okay,
second.
guys.
Okay.
It happens.
This happens sometimes. We're gonna go ahead and let Jocelyn share if she would like to.
Okay, 5 things I can see. I can see the lamp. I can see the printer. I can see that box over there. And I can see the dehumidifier. Is that 4? Or is that 5?
That felt like 5.
Okay, I hope so. And more things I can feel. I can feel my hoodie. I can feel my pants. I can feel the water bottle. And I can feel these keys. 3 things I hear. I hear the dog. Um, I hear the heater. And I hear the laptop running. 2 things I smell. I smell the vanilla from my room coming off of my hoodie. And I can smell the like dry air. And then I can taste my tongue.
Perfect.
Good one.
We can't argue that one.
I like my tongue.
So Jocelyn, tell me where your anxiety is now and what you noticed during the exercise.
Now I'm a 1, and I still think it's interesting to see how our minds and our bodies react to how we shift subjects in our bodies,
Yeah.
in our minds, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it is very interesting, isn't it? And everybody's different. Yeah.
Mhm.
Amanda, how about you? Where's your anxiety and what did you notice during the exercise?
My anxiety's at a 3 now, and I noticed at first I had anxiety, but then as I started to like have to focus more on finding things, my mind started to slow down and my anxiety disappeared.
Yes, I love that. I love that. And so this is a real-time exercise that you guys can take out into the world with you. You can do it anywhere you're at, and you don't even have to say it out loud. You could just count it down in your mind if you wanted to, and you can add deep breathing to it as well if that assists in the process. So does anybody have any questions about anything we went over today? The future schedule, the purpose of this group, confidentiality, any of those things?
Mm-mm. Nope.
Okay, perfect. So we're going to meet every week on Wednesday at 7 p.m., same time, same place. Next week, we will be working on we will go over how to actually do some breathing exercises that can calm you in the middle of your anxiety as well. So I look forward to our next session and thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.